Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by the Cochran Firm and Boston Scientific. We're streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. And of course, as always, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Morning. Returning the page to the Cowboys offense against this Bucs defense. We're going to dive into where I think they can attack these guys. The rematch is here. Kellen Moore, Dak Prescott versus Todd Bowles. Cowboys O-line versus the Bucs D-line, which we'll get into more of that probably tomorrow or Monday. But I want to kind of talk about where they can conceptually attack this unit. We also going to hear from Kellen Moore again. I need y'all to hear from him one more time just to hear him talk about the defense and the Bucs backers and whatnot. Plus, in the roundup, the Cowboys got 2 All-Pros. Okay. Cowboys got a couple All-Pros. They're getting healthy, and we're going to run back this first down rushing thing because it's still an issue, and it's starting to look a little bit like last year. But what's good, Cowboys Nation, a.k.a. the Bomb Squad? What's up, Professor O? Our host, William Killing Them Steele. Appreciate you, big dog. Appreciate you and what all of you guys are doing over at Pick 6 Sports. I mean, nobody does the numbers better than Professor O, man. Nobody at all. But how y'all doing this morning, man? How are y'all? We are a few days away. Well, I say a few days, but more like 5 days away, roughly. Cowboys, Bucs. We're getting close, man. We are getting close. And the nerves haven't set in just quite yet because I'm still in the thick of things of observing this team. And, you know, when you play a team twice like this, you think you know everything about the 3 times, or this be the 3rd time over the last 2 years. You think you know everything that you've seen. But they were 2 completely different games from both sides of the ball. Week 1 last year, your offense was phenomenal against that Bucs defense. They had no answer. But your defense had no answer against Tom Brady. Flip it one more year later in week 1, your defense was phenomenal against the Bucs defense. Offense, for the most part, run defense was the issue. But your offense was terrible. So do we get balance? Do we get some balance? And I want y'all to put a pin in that balance part. Now, before we get to the X's and O's, before we get to the whys, the hows, and the breaking down of the game, let me start off by saying this right here, right now. The X's and O's will not matter at the end of the game. Context will not matter for these 2 gentlemen at the end of the game. Fair or not fair. It is going to be about getting it done, especially for that guy. Especially for Dak Prescott. He's at a fever pitch point in his career where damned if you do, damned if you don't. So you better do. I would much rather people bicker about how you won than bicker about why you weren't successful. I'm going to say that again. Because people are going to bicker and complain either way. I would much rather people bicker about the success than you being unsuccessful. And that's really what it's about for Dak at this point. We've seen him have good playoff games. We've seen that. We need to see him finish this game. We need to see him put his best foot forward. Let me just say that. If he puts his best foot forward, he should be fine to the masses. But guess what? It won't matter if you don't get it done. Mike is a different story. Mike is more of an immediate situation where Dak is going to be here long term. But it does not matter, Cowboys Nation. Context won't matter. I know that's my mantra here because I try to look at things both sides and things. It won't matter. So get it done. Allow them to complain about why you won. Well, the defense did this. Well, the run game did that. Well, the offensive line, you got all these weapons. Who cares? I would much rather people complain and whine about why Dak Prescott played well, why the Cowboys won, than come on here Tuesday and it'll be a Black Tuesday. So we're going to dive into the X's and O's. That's what we do here. We dive into everything. But we're talking about the offense today, and playoff games are always career-defining moments. They always are. So it'd be obvious of me to say, oh, this is a career-defining game. Of course it is. It's a playoff game. It's another playoff game. But this is important, right? They all are. And I just want him to come. I don't want him to come out here and press, but I want him to come out here and leave it all out on the field. If that means he got to piss somebody off, if that means he's got to, I don't want to use the term, when they say when people go in theater and act, right? Break a leg. I don't want to say that, but leave it all out on that field with no questions asked when you're done. Because if you do that, I don't think anybody has a problem with that. If we come out like week 18, if you come out like San Fran last year, we're going to come right back to the conversation that we were at last year when those clocks hit 0-0 in Dallas. And I said this at the beginning of the season. I said this in the off season. Everything that happens in the regular season, fair or not, doesn't matter. It's about what happens on Monday. That is just the facts about this organization, the facts about this quarterback, the facts about this coach. Much rather them complain and moan about why you were successful than not. Period. All right. Let's hit this roundup, and then we're going to come out and we're going to talk about this Cowboys offense and where I think they should attack this Bucs defense and how a specific personnel set I think they need to bring back. I'm not saying they got to run it all game, but I do think they need to bring this thing back in this game. So here we go. Let's do this roundup real quick.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Oh, they do it! Hey! Oh, they do it!
Hey! Yo. That's an obvious T-dub. You must ain't been listening to what I'm saying. Of course it's a team game. That's part of the context. But it won't matter. Don't believe me? Just go listen to everybody talk after the San Francisco game. Then come back. Cowboys get 2 All-Pros. Zach Martin is one of them. All right. Do I think Zach was All-Pro? I don't know. But I know who wasn't. I don't mean to get on him about this, but Kevontae Turpin was your second All-Pro. That shocked me. The Pro Bowl, popularity contest, whatever. All-Pro? How, Sway? So, honest question. I don't know if anybody ever did this research. I asked this yesterday. Has anyone ever made the All-Pro list as a returner without returning a kick for a touchdown? Has anyone? And this is a serious question. Not trying to come at the dude, but I don't recall that. To be real, and I know this might be recency bias because of the situation that happened with DeMar Hamlin, but man, I would have much rather than put Naheem Hines on there for what he did in Week 18. I mean, that was spectacular. So if anybody has that question, please bring that back to me. I would love. I got to be right this second. I'm on Twitter at Skywalker Still. You can hit me up in the DMs. You can tag me, whatever. But I am genuinely curious. How many? Let me say that. I'm pretty sure it's happened at some point because returning kicks are hard. But how many times has it happened that an all-pro returner went to the Pro Bowl without returning a kick or punt return for a touchdown? Hell, his longest return of the year was about 50 yards. So, just curious. And if you do believe he belonged on the all-pro list, tell me why. Tell me why. And I said this yesterday. I hope that Kevontae Turpin comes out and returns a kick for a touchdown, and we could stamp his reasoning to be there. But in the regular season, he didn't do that. And after about the first 6 games, it was very blasé. And it came with not many big returns and 2 muff punts that gave the other team the ball where they scored touchdowns. So I know that's a little bit recency bias on Kevontae Turpin, but I mean, hey, man, 2 muffs, no tutties, no big plays in the second half of the season. All pro. Interesting. Very interesting. Nobody got the answer yet? Okay, cool. Just send that to me if y'all got that answer. I would love to know how many. Mike McCarthy spoke on the Cowboys getting healthy going into the playoffs. He said, quote, "I feel great about where we are. I think anytime you can stand here and know that come Monday night, you're going to have some guys that are disappointed that they're not on the 48. To me, that's as healthy as you can ask to be this time of the year." Tyler Biadasz and Jonathan Hankins talked to my guy, Pat Walker. He said, "I feel great. I do. I'm ready to go." That was Biadasz. And Hankins said, "I feel good. I feel like I could have been back sooner, but the IR rules said I had to be out for 4 weeks," which he also said that he wasn't upset about. His body can get fresh for this playoff run. You love to hear it. You know, I mean, yeah, these guys that came out said I'm ailing in regards to Biadasz. Biadasz is the one that maybe he's just being PC. Hankins, I do feel real good about, but getting Biadasz back, I think, is going to have a massive impact on this offensive line, because now you kind of get your normalcy back up front. And you're going to need that normalcy because you've been struggling in just about every aspect up front, but more specifically on first downs. I feel like we've been having this conversation for the last month of the season. Like, seriously, for the last 4 weeks, we've been coming on here and talking about the first down issues, more specifically first down run issues. And shout out to Bob Sturm. I got to get him back on the show. Fantastic article he wrote about this. Since week 14, when Terrence Steele went down, the Cowboys ranked 31st in first down runs per attempt with 2.9 yards per carry. Only the Jets are worse. Now, y'all remember last year, I talked about this about 3 weeks ago, why I wasn't too down on the offense just yet, because I'm like, well, it's not broken. Last year, it was broken. In 2021, weeks 14 to 18, the Cowboys ranked 31st in first down run average. But they're worse this year. Last year was 3.1 yards per carry. This year it's 2.9. Now I'm a little bit torn on if this thing is broken. And when I mean this thing, I mean the run game. Because with Terrence Steele out, it has not been the same. And we're now seeing 2 years in a row, some would argue more than that, where, okay, first half of the season, offense is this. Middle of the season, all right, it's here. And then towards the end of the season, we hit a weird spot. We are in that weird spot. The Cowboys have lost their balance, and they haven't seemed to find an answer. Now, the hope is you get back Tyler Biadasz, you move Connor McGovern back at left guard and Tyler Smith back out at left tackle, and you get this chemistry back with the offensive line, as opposed to that 3-for-1 move we talked about. It's now just a 1-for-1 in regards to Tyron Smith and Terrence Steele. I still don't know if that's just going to make things much better. I think you're going to have to schematically do some things to help your offensive line out. And let's not make a mistake about this here. If you go read Sturm's article, the Cowboys haven't run well out of anything. 2 tight end sets, 11 personnel hasn't been great. Well, actually, 11 personnel out of shotgun is where they've been league average. Everything else has been below league average. So I think they have to come out here and they have to do things from a schematic standpoint, because I don't think, and tell me to shut up if I'm saying the same thing over again here, I don't think they can line up and beat the Bucs defense man to man. You couldn't do it against Tennessee's backups. You couldn't do it against Washington. Now, these guys make it tough on you, but so does the Bucs. I know teams have had success. But we're talking about our team. Our team couldn't have success against backups, against worse teams, in my opinion, against worse front sevens. So I don't think you can go out there and just try to do the same things that you've been trying to do over the last 3 or 4 weeks. I think you need to switch it up, because the unit of Golston, Hicks, Vita Vea, who I believe will be playing, that's a tank of a unit. And when you had success running the ball against them in week 1, it was towards the edges. And there's not too many things from week 1 that we can take away, but of some plays, right, and concepts and what have you. And one of them was attacking them on the edges. But that was a carryover from week 1 of 2021. The Cowboys had success running to the edges against the Bucs. They had success in week 1 running against the edges against the Bucs. But I do think this offense is different from week 1 to now. I do think it's different. At one point, it was going to be a positive different. Now I think we're in the middle here. Terrence Steele doesn't go down. Your run game would have been so much better. We've seen the impact of the offense. You were using different sets. Things were a little bit more smoother. Now it's different because your offensive line is different. You're incorporating Tyron Smith. The run game isn't hitting the same, and we're having the turnover issues with Dak Prescott. So things are different from week 1. I still think it's better, but they're different. They're different. You can call into the show, 351-999-3787. Talk more about this. And I want to get into the areas that they can attack here in a second, but we're going to hear from Kellen Moore. Let the toxicity flow. Why, Tom? It's Thursday. It's Thursday, man. Y'all wake up miserable. You can't wake up miserable, man. Be thankful we here. We get to watch this playoff game. And then if they lose in a manner that you hate, then you can come in and be toxic. I will allow y'all to be toxic as hell on Tuesday if the Cowboys lose. Well, it is what it is, right? The day after, the emotions. But it's Thursday, man. No, Juan. He would get dismantled by this team. Yeah, Sam. Kellen's the GOAT. By the way, it's funny. We were talking about Kellen Moore not getting any head coaching hires at the beginning of the show yesterday, or request, and then boom, middle of the show, Carolina Panthers request to get Kellen Moore, interview Kellen Moore as head coach. By all means, good luck, Kellen Moore. Seriously, good luck, Kellen Moore. T-Dub, is it on the O-line coach Philbin to come up with how we block up the plays? I'm not sure their processes of the running attack, the run game coordination. So I can't give you that answer. I don't know if Philbin is just literally coaching these guys or Philbin is a part of the run game plan. So I can't answer that question. I'd have to ask somebody down there. Because it seems to be night and day from the first 8 games of the year. And again, stop me if you've heard this before. It seems to be night and day in how the Cowboys are running from the last month to how they were running prior to that. And maybe it's Terrence Steele. Maybe they say without Terrence Steele, we can't do X, Y, Z. Maybe he's the key. Yeah, no. Let's get to the phone lines real quick. We had a couple callers prior to us jumping into these areas of attack. My bad if I froze up trying to fix some things here. All right, here we go. Pulse of the Nation phone lines presented by the Cochran Firm. Our guys Larry and Brian since 2005 have been fighting for you in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and Houston, by the way. Whether you've been in an automobile accident, personal injury, wrongful death, fraud, it doesn't matter. They got you covered, man. If you need any assistance, any help, Cochran cares. Contact them at 1-800-THE-FIRM or visit them at CochranTexas.com. Good morning, James. What's goody?
Hey, what's going on, man? Well, I'm taking some coffee out of my Dallas Cowboy mug. That's pretty good.
There we go.
Yeah, just really quick, just a couple of things, and then I got a question for you. I know some people see this, and going into the playoffs, you know, it's a problem, and Dak's got to fix it. But the forcing the ball into tight windows has got to stop. The receivers have got to get open.
That seems to be the offense.
Yeah, that's what, and that's what I'm saying. Well, Dak throws the ball too, so he can't be throwing that, especially when you see the guy, you know. But anyway, make a long story short, I guess what I really called it about was the. Well,
I'm gonna go back to the tight window, to the tight window thing.
Go ahead.
If your offense is not generating a ton of separation, and then I don't think you can have it both ways. I don't think you can say Dak has to stop throwing in tight windows, but if that's what's mostly available, he can't, right? Like, just take the sacks?
Well, a sack, it's either way, Will, you know, like I said, I mean, I kind of have a hard one with this one because for me, it's like you got to find the dog with the least amount of fleas. Both of them are bad, both bad scenarios. But a lot of Dak's picks lately have been pick sixes.
They've been
hurt more than a sack.
Was it a tight window throw in against Washington? No. Was it a tight window throw against?
Right in his hand.
Was it right? That wasn't a tight window throw. I'm about to get to it. Was it a tight window throw against the Eagles?
I believe so. Well, let me ask you this.
Wait, James. No, it wasn't. He threw it right to the defensive end, man.
Okay, well let me ask you this.
Those are decision making.
I called to pick your brain.
Hold on. Those are decision. The issue with Dak right now is decision making.
Exactly, decisions that Dak makes, and he's not making the right decision.
Right, but he didn't throw a tight window throw interception against Washington. He didn't throw a tight window throw interception against Philly. Those are bad decisions.
Like a win is a win, though, right? Okay, but like a win is a win, but isn't a pick a pick?
No, you said tight window throws. I'm trying to.
Okay, fine. I'll take that back, but either way, it's still a pick.
I'm not arguing a pick is a pick.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying
no. I know you're not.
I'm saying
I know you're not.
This team has separation issues. This offense scheme is not going to get guys open. So, if in one way you want
running, we won't.
Right. So Dak has to be better with his decision making, in my opinion. But he can't stop throwing in tight windows, because if he stops throwing in tight windows, you don't have a passing offense. You don't believe me? Go pop on the film. There is no passing offense without him hitting these tight window throws.
Well, I guess then, in my opinion, I continue to see this to happen and be a trend. But the other thing I wanted to ask you is, now I know on the offensive line we have Tyron Smith at right tackle, and I guess we have Peters on the left side. I think everybody will agree, and I don't know if you agree, but do you believe, like I do, that that's kind of somewhat of a problem?
What is a problem?
Seems to be. I think that with Tyron on the right side, right tackle, it just seems like the offensive line isn't as in the holding up for pass blocking for Dak, that it just doesn't seem like it's as solid as before. When we lost Steele and
100%.
And all that.
I mean, you're missing Terrence Steele, 100%. There's no doubt about
that. Right. Other than that, man, like I said, I didn't call to, like, argue with you, nothing like that. Because, see, the reason I call you and Vibes is because you guys know more than me, man. I see something.
I don't pretend.
I don't mind being corrected. I don't mind being corrected, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not trying to. I know you're not. I know more than anybody.
And you proved your point. And I'm just saying, see, I'm one of these few people that if we are debating in a good debate, which we were, and if you say, hey, man, and you say something and it kind of proves me, well, maybe it's not. Hey, I'll admit, hey, maybe I was wrong for saying it the way that I said it. And not a lot of people can do that, because I've heard you debate with people before, and you're like, keep going, I'm gonna hang up on you. So, but I don't want to ever get like that, because I like calling in.
Yeah, if you don't allow me to talk on my show, I would definitely bang on you. If you don't allow
for sure.
It's my show.
But outside of that, though, real quick, do you think, in your honest opinion, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would be your number of you, other than being a fan? If you were somebody that wasn't a Cowboy fan, what grade would you
take
give
off
us,
my
or what
Cowboy
chance
fan.
would you give us on beating the Bucs?
About 7. I give us 7.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, but like I say though, man, before I go, we got to clean up the mistakes. The defense has got to get pressure on Brady, and
That's the one right there.
and we can't be playing from behind the chains.
Wow.
And when we get out there, we got to get out there, and we just got to go after it. No, we've got to stop going 3 and out all the time, because that Washington game, boy, I was like, oh my god, that scared me. I mean, with the way we played,
That was such an anomaly. Because I don't see
it.
10 3 and outs. I'd be shocked if they do that again, because they've been one of the best third down teams in the National Football League since Dak came back.
Yeah, exactly. That's why when you did this, when you seen that, you scratched your head like, this ain't the same team.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, all right, man. Like I said, Will, I appreciate you and Vox, because as far as I'm concerned, out of everybody out there, you guys are my 2 favorites, and you guys definitely know about your football. So
appreciate you, James.
Oh, you're welcome, man. I appreciate you very much, man.
Wow, we getting all the OG callers up in here. We got Uncle Charles and then Marv in the building. Uncle Charles, what's goody?
Skywalker, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I always say, every time I talk to you, it's a blessing. So let me just say this, brother. I think you do what you do for just not for the Cowboy Nation, but what you do for society is not just give people sports. You also give people hope in living each day, and each day somebody think about wanting to hurt themselves, you change their mind. Why? Because you are. But it's a lot of people that's not going to like what I'm going to say.
Okay.
We got 3 defensive tackles, and now one of them can break wind. They can't stop nothing. So we got the guy Hankins coming back. That should improve the defense. But I'm looking at this offensive line, and you take Jason Peters and put him out there, I think, at left tackle, if I'm not mistaken, and he's not good there. You need to put him back at offensive guard. Let him solidify that line on the other side. Put him at offensive guard, and just take the rookie and put him there. Now, I might not know about daytime, but I know about nighttime because I was born at night. You mean to tell me that Dak Prescott have thrown an interception, or maybe 1 or 2, in every game? This is a question for you about you being an expert. Do you think the way Dak Prescott have been playing, I'm just playing, he's just his play now, just his play, not him not being a good athlete, a great person, do you honestly think that Jimmy Johnson will put up with Dak Prescott throwing them interceptions? Yes or no?
I'm not around to know how Jimmy. I mean, I obviously was born, but I'm not around to know how Jimmy would do that. I mean, I love Troy Aikman, but if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Troy Aikman throwing picks too? I mean, you're right, Skywalker. But Troy got 3 Super Bowls. You can't deny. But correct.
If you was a coach, right now, coach, would you not call his play out?
No, not publicly. I would not do that. What does that serve?
But you would have a conversation with him and tell him, look, I don't mind you throwing balls in tight windows, but I just need for you to read the defense just a little bit better.
Are you under the assumption that they're not having conversations on how to be better? I can't.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I can't deny or confirm that they are or aren't. But I would imagine that going into the week, they're watching the film and saying, "Hey, I got to be better here."
Yes, sir. And you know what? We're gonna say that's true, Skywalker. Let's just say that's what you said is correct, which I believe. I believe he's still throwing interceptions. At the end of the day, he's still.
So what you think Jimmy would? I'm curious. What do you think Jimmy would do? Either throw him under the bus publicly or bench him? Is that what you're saying Jimmy would do? Y'all was around when Jimmy was at the height. So tell me what Jimmy would do.
Yes, sir. I would say it like this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say he would bench him, but he would sit him down to make him realize that you cannot be careless with the ball.
Right.
Just because you throw through a window in somebody's house don't mean you hit somebody inside. Right. It don't mean that.
It don't mean that.
And that's all I'm saying, young king. All I'm saying is it don't mean that. I'm saying is in this game you can't turn the ball over. But with all the interceptions he don't throw, the only thing that saves us right now is Dan Quinn defense. We lead in takeaways. We don't lead in giveaways. We lead in takeaways. This team is in the playoffs for one reason. And because of this defense and sometimes this running game get going. He cannot, and I repeat, Skywalker, he cannot throw interceptions in this game. Not one. Because Tom Brady is a quarterback where he thrives on momentum. If you look what Cincinnati and the 49ers did to Tampa Bay. What did they do to them? They pounded the rock. They took time of possession and they kept Tom Brady on the sideline when he came back. His whole thing, keep it close, win it in. You know it, and I know it. I believe in this team. I believe in you. And I believe that Dak going to have to take care of the ball just a little bit better and let the run game and the defense do what it do. And that's all I got to say, and I appreciate you, and I love you, brother.
I appreciate you, Uncle Charles. Let's get
Yes,
Magic
sir.
City Marv in the building. Magic City Marv, what's good? We got the OGs, man.
Hey, what up? What up, brother? How you been doing?
I'm good, man.
Yeah, Dr. My man Charles, he's talking good stuff. We just got I watched the film too, and I've been watching the last few weeks. While they can't run, we run the same running plays.
Okay.
Up the gut, nothing. They know our plays. The Tampa Bay guy told you in the first game they know the plays. Everybody know the Cowboys plays. They know their route plays. They don't change it up. So if that Kellen Moore comes the same dumb running route plays, they're going to be right there with the receivers. I don't care what you say. You can have the fast, you can have a Usain Bolt right running the play. They're going to know his play. So Kellen Moore got to get creative, man. I ain't talking about no crazy, trick plays.
Yeah,
you got to
no
do the routes. You know what I'm saying? And Dak Prescott, he got to go to where he used to play. This game, Dak, he must not throw interception. Now, what he could do, this is what I help him. Use his legs.
Yes.
Don't take sacks. And when you see a man going in the middle, because I know you watch the plays too, he needs to hit. I'd rather him get a 4-yard pass than a 5-yard pass. Dink and dunk all the way down the field. Then what's going to happen? The linebacker's going to move up. Now your seams are wide open. You see what I'm saying? And then that's going to help him. But if he keep trying to be Mr.
Hero ball.
Yeah.
That's what we call it.
I'm
We
Mr.
call it,
Rogers.
yeah, Superman.
Yeah. Superman.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Superman, and you don't know you're going to have that defense. And I'm going to tell you something. They holding that number 27. That boy hate losing. And number 11. And they're going to get mad at Dak. I'm telling you now. You might have a shot match on the off. They ain't going to show it. But you're going to see them heads down if this guy come around.
Hey man, I think we need that fire. Right? I know you don't want to discourage your teammates, but I think sometimes you need to light a fire under somebody. And I don't want it to be publicly where, these cameras or whatever, but it's hard not to when you're America's team. But I've said it before. If you need to get if you need to yell at somebody or whatever, just kind of wake them up. And I don't care if you're yelling at Dak or Dak's yelling at somebody else in a positive way, in a Des Bryant way. I think you're going to need that fire on Monday. Like they need to leave everything out there. They need to leave that game exhausted. I don't care if they're having a game the next day on Saturday or Sunday. They need to leave that game extremely exhausted.
They must. Because I think if they can get past this curse, they gone. If they win this, they'll win the next one. But they got to win this. And another thing is if you see now the D tackles, boy, please, I ain't gonna lie. I was looking to pay. I was telling my friend yesterday, my first option, because I know the Redskins gonna try to keep him. I'm paying for number 94.
Oh well, that's off season talk. That's off season talk. I'm with you. Deron Payne should definitely be at the top of the board, but I said it about Tomlinson too. Yeah.
And then, but another thing, one thing. Now Dan Quinn, he gonna have to play them corners up close, because Brady, he throw them out screens. That's their running game. We're going to get Hankey back. And now, can you ask me this question? Why then he played the big guy that we got from Philly? Because if you watch the tape,
Who?
the guy's very good.
Oh,
at
Anthony
stopping the run,
Rush?
and he put, if I was him, I'm taking one of them deep tackles. I'm playing Anthony Rush and Big
For what?
Hankins in the middle.
For what? Your run defense
So
ain't been the
that.
problem. Your run defense has not been the problem.
Man.
Your run defense hasn't been the problem, Marv. Your problem has been giving up big plays. The Cowboys ranked last in the NFL over the last 5 weeks in 20-plus yard passes allowed.
Woo!
That ain't Anthony Rush, getting 8 snaps a game at 380 pounds is not going to help you, bro. Jonathan Hankins coming back will handle that. You don't need Anthony Rush because Jonathan Hankins can push the pocket if you need him to push it in the pass, and obviously he can hold up two offensive linemen in the run game. Once you get Hank back, you got Hank, you got Watkins. If you need to throw Bo in there, Bo. I think you'll be fine. And Golston,
We'll be okay.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine from that standpoint. What killed the Cowboys in Week 1 against this team, I think, was they weren't as disciplined on the edges. Right? They didn't contain the edges, and they just got caught off guard. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't run the ball well. I think the Cowboys are a better run defense than Week 1. My worry isn't so much the run game. It's can they stop the big plays in the passing game? Yeah, can they stop those big plays? Because if you can make them have to matriculate down the field, they haven't been good at scoring in the red zone this year. Talking about Tom Brady. And he's been, for as much as we don't like to talk about it, Tom Brady could throw some picks too. Now, it ain't as much, but Tom Brady can give you the rock back. So, fluster him and make him give you the rock. Cowboys did it in Week 1.
You think Rose playing this week?
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like.
Yeah, because I've seen that too. Because they say he had a good practice.
Yeah.
He's savvy. Yeah, he's gonna have to play, man.
Yeah,
I want to win. I want to win this game.
He might play more than I thought.
And you know what got me? And I know you saw this too, because I know you be watching your film. I just want the Cowboys. Did you see how Detroit had that made Rodgers look?
Man,
I want our team to play like that.
I know. Yeah, Dan Campbell you want to talk about embodying your head coach. That Detroit team embodies their head coach. That's why yesterday I was talking about the Cowboys have to be in this pocket, man. Like they have to be in this pocket, this focused pocket, because if they get out of that, they can be beat by anybody, by anyone, because you don't know what you're getting. With Detroit, ever since their bye week, you knew what you were getting in Detroit, man. You're going to get a team that's going to fight you, punch you in the mouth, be efficient offensively, and defensively, they clean things up, and they never waver for the rest of the season. So, Dan Campbell, he deserve a vote for coach of the year, in my opinion.
I know. And another thing, I said, man, me and my friend looking, I said, now watch the offensive coordinator for Detroit. I think he's going to get a coaching job. Did you see him? Man,
bro, I don't mean to make this into a talk of Detroit, but when I studied them when we were playing them, I'm sitting here like, I say this all the time, Marv. Hey, man, I'd be stealing some of their plays. I'd be stealing some of their scheme because it's a really good scheme.
It's a good scheme.
Yeah, it's a nice scheme.
We got to do that. I was just dang. I hope Kellen Moore, please, don't do the same routes in the same area, man. And please, don't be throwing to 85, bro.
Wow.
Oh, my God. It's up to the offensive coordinator and our quarterback. If they play a good game, we'll win. If they call a stupid game, we'll be here mad.
Yeah. The ladder. I'm going to talk about the ladder. I appreciate your call, Marv.
All right, family. Have a blessed day.
You too, man. Where is that? At the end of the day, I'm telling you right now, nobody's going to come on here and talk about Kellen. Well, we may, because we dive into things. If he don't get it done, there'll be tomatoes being thrown at that screen. I'm telling you right now. That's why I said context don't matter on Monday, man. Throw all that out the window. Find a way. Get it done. Then we could talk about the hows on Tuesday and Wednesday. I don't care if it's ugly. I said this before when we was winning these ugly games. That's our ugly baby. That's our ugly baby. Now let's get into the house and talk about where I think they should attack this Buccaneers defense. And I want to listen to not Mike. I don't like listening to Kellen, but they asked Kellen about this Bucs defense and these linebackers. And I think that's where you could attack them. But here's Kellen Moore on the Buccaneers defense and the challenges against these linebackers.
Yeah, just jumping into that, they're a really talented defense, a veteran defense. So certainly there's a lot of stuff that they've hung their hat on for a long time down there, and they've done a tremendous job. The linebackers are the combination are as good in the league as you're going to find. The front certainly is big, stout, creates pressure. The back end does a really good job of playing vision on the quarterback and seeing coverages and pattern matching. And so, we've played these guys a few times now, and they're really, really talented.
And the speed at their linebacker position, is that more problematic in the run game or the pass game?
I think certainly they use it to their advantage in both. Their ability to play over the top in the run game, but they also, they have a really good pressure plan, and they allow those backers, because of their speed, to be able to get out to coverage areas you're traditionally not anticipating linebackers to get to, just because those guys are really, really good at it. And so, it's a big challenge.
It is a big challenge. Because Devin White and Levante David are quality linebackers, especially I think in the passing game. What I mean by passing game, I mean rushing the passer. The Bucs blitz at a very high rate. That's Todd Bowles, right? Over 30%, I believe they're blitzing, and it's the how they blitz that's really difficult. It makes things tough on your front, and that's why you need to get back Biotish so he can see these things better than McGovern would. Sucks that you don't have Terrence out there, but you would hope that Tyron would also see things a little bit better. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge, period. Todd Bowles, I think he found something in week 1. Now it's up to Kellen to counter. Week 1 of 2021, Kellen exposed him. Week 1 of 2022, Todd Bowles counter. It's your turn, Kellen. And one of the things that they can do is utilize the tight ends again. Marv talked about, hey, I'd rather just, dink dunk down the field. And the term dink dunk 5 yards at a time sounds detrimental, but with a guy like Hendershot, who catch the ball, and Jake Ferguson, I think you're looking at more than 4 or 5 yards. And even Dalton Schultz. Schultz ain't averaging 5 yards a catch, right? And they gave Schultz room, right? They let Schultz have his catches in week 1. I think that was his second best performance of the year, yards wise, or something like that. Might have been his best. But if that's the pocket you got to live in, and then take your shots when you can take them, just make sure you're converting the red zone where they've been better in their tight end sets. So this is why I said I don't want to see him pressing. Talking about Dak Prescott. But how do they come out? How do they attack with the tight ends? And the reason why I want them to is because they give up over 111 rating against tight ends, 9 touchdowns in the year, 800 yards, and then in the slot. Winfield Jr., who is a safety, is playing slot for them this year. I personally don't think he can deal with no CeeDee Lamb. When he's targeted in that slot, he's giving up over 103 quarterback rating. CeeDee Lamb is on a tear. We talked about when it comes to the playoffs, no more experiment. You win and you lose with your guys, right? You win and you lose with your stars, your Dak Prescotts, your CeeDee Lambs, Tony Pollards, Schultz, and tight ends. I'm not saying they're stars, but that's your advantage here. So ad nauseum, I would be featuring these tight ends, featuring CeeDee Lamb, featuring Tony Pollard. And then the how, why we haven't brought this setback is beyond me, Cowboys Nation. I don't know why, but that 0 running back, 3 tight end set, I thought they were going to work on that a little bit more throughout the season. They really just did this in the Bears game and never went back to it. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're going to see this set this week. Well, next week, actually. Next week, I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're going to see this set. And I think we should see it at least 2, maybe 3. 3 might be stretching it a bit, but at least a few times. Because we talk about matriculating down the field. That's what this set is going to allow you to do. You're not going to get super big chunk plays off of it unless there's a breakdown. But you're going to get efficient plays off of it. And then once you get into the red zone, you can get into your nasty red zone offense. Or when you get into your green zone, you can pull out one of those plays where you got CeeDee Lamb on a wheel route down the seam, or not down the seam, on the outside, or Tony Pollard on a wheel route. But I would love to see this set because I think it has everything that you can do well against this team. Or you've done well, right? Utilize tight ends, spread them out. You don't have to put CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup out there. You can technically bring in Tony Pollard as a de facto wide receiver running back in for a Michael Gallup, right? And the reason why I say that is because you've been running with better success when you've spread it all the way out, according to the statistics, and you've allowed Tony Pollard or Ezekiel Elliott, and in this situation, not to go with TP, to kind of find their lanes and hit those holes and possibly get a big play. And look, if you spread it out like this, and they say, now we got to worry about TP in the backfield, or Lamb can run the ball. So they bring in that linebacker. They keep that linebacker in there. Or once you run the RPO, now you got that quick slant to Michael Gallup on the backside. Right there. So I think this is a set that they need to feature more often. Whether it be, I called it a 003, just playing around, or whether it be 13 spread. 12 hasn't been great. They haven't run out of 12 personnel. But utilize these tight ends because the tight ends are what gives the Buccaneers trouble. And then feature CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb shouldn't have less than 10 targets in this game. You can say, well, Scott, you don't want to force it. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I want to force the ball into my best player's hands for 4 straight games. This ain't the time to be like, man, we got to get Noah Brown, man. We got to get Michael Gallup because we got him. No, we don't. No, you do not. Now, if Michael Gallup gets wide open on a one-on-one or something crazy, sure. He gets wide open on the slant, sure. But I'm making the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to adapt to the fact that they can't stop CeeDee Lamb in motion. They can't stop Tony Pollard in space. They can't stop Dalton Schultz sitting down in the pocket, right? They can't stop a Jake Ferguson eating up a Levante David in the passing game or something like that. Make them adapt to that, and then, oh, snap, T.Y. Hilton deep. So that's where I think the Cowboys can attack these Bucs. Demetrius says, get T.Y. involved. Yeah, I think T.Y. should be a product of them adapting to your guys, right? Well, maybe they adapt right away. They say, oh, there goes CeeDee Lamb. Let's bracket, and here's T.Y. Hilton underneath. There you go. But I don't care how they do it. Make sure that we're not making it easy. We're not making it easy on Todd Bowles. In week 1, if you go back and you watch, we talked about 2v7 a lot when we did film study. 2v7, 3v7, and I hated that. I hate play action, max protect, 2 routes, and boom, we're going to just run 2 guys into a sea of 7. Devin White said, we knew what y'all was going to do, right? Like, y'all weren't going to try to run up the middle at us. So when the linebackers don't see a run action pull or whatever from the offensive line, you could tell they were told right away, drop back. Don't even respect the play action. Drop right back. And it was killing Dallas because there was just no constant. We talk about throwing in windows. You had to throw in those windows all day. And week 1, no preseason. It was just a sloppy performance from Dak. And it wasn't a great game plan to get out of that. And that's something we talked about yesterday. I think you have to run your best stuff now, right? Like run your best stuff first 15. right away. Get your guys in this rhythm. Get them confidence. Because one thing I've noticed is that if we get into things that don't work, and shout out to, I think it was DJ who called in, we do tend to stay in it. For whatever reason, we tend to try to be stubborn with it over the last month of the season. No. Get out of that. Get into something that you guys know. I know this is a money play for us. So we can start building that confidence. All right, let's get back to the phone lines. But before we do that, let's pay some bills. The Fan Focus presented by Boston Scientific. Over 39 million men in the U.S. suffer from ED, and Boston Scientific may not have the cure, but they've created edcure.org to help you find your best cure. To get started, just head on over to edcure.org. Take their customized content if you're at a high risk, and you'll be good to go. Again, visit edcure.org, brought to you by Boston Scientific.
You're listening to A to Z Sports.
Do it live!
At some point, hoping to broadcast
In front of the millions
of Cowboys fans to bring you the real. But for now, strap up and here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
We'll do it live.
Yes, CJ. Felt like we were saying that a lot last year. Stop trying to get 14 on one play. Yeah. And that's what they responded well against Philly when it went down 10-0. They've responded well. When teams may have come out and got off to a fast start against them. Doesn't mean I want to continue to see it, because now we're in a high pressure situation and I feel like we'll press. So I think getting out to a fast start is going to be key. When we talk about keys to the game, that's probably going to be number one. Number one on my list is getting out to a fast start, because I feel like when we get out into a solid start, that usually carries throughout the game. It usually carries. When we ran 3rd and 5 against Washington, I was like, oh boy. And then we get the muff punt. I'm like, it feels like it's going to be one of those games. Let me lock this up. B-Bird. What's goody, man?
Hey, what's up, Sky? I just got a few things for you today, brother.
All right.
How you doing, first of all, man?
I'm good.
Okay. Well, the thing I have, the issue, my concerns with the Cowboys is this. We have a whole bunch of thermometers, but we just don't have thermostats. We have people that react to the temperature of the room. We don't have people that set the room temperature. And that's what it is, man. That's why we go into games. We're so up and down. We won 12 games this year. We played good, bad, good, but we don't have that person that just sets the energy. And I'm a Dak fan, but Dak is a thermometer. He does not set he's not a thermostat. He does not set the tone or the energy or the temperature of the room. And so that's why we don't know what we're going to get Monday night, right? Because we don't know, because it's all about what the weather is, right? What the temperature is. We got to go feel it out first and then go. That's why when we start fast,
I think that starts with your culture.
Yeah, I definitely it's culture.
Who's setting the temperature in San Fran? Their culture.
That's right, the coach.
Yeah.
Culture.
Their culture is. Who's setting the temperature in Detroit? It ain't Jared Goff. It's the culture.
That's right.
Yeah, I think we got a Mickey Mouse culture here, and we got guys in the Mickey Mouse club that I don't think have enough gusto to I don't want to say overcome that, but bury that, if that makes sense.
And I didn't want to bring it up because we'll talk about that offseason, but definitely right. And I'll go back to the 90s. It was Jimmy and it was Michael Irvin that were the thermometers of that team.
And who did Mike play for in college?
Jimmy Johnson. Yeah. And guess what? And that's a cultural thing, because the coach has to have the power to be able to do that.
And
right?
he brought him in.
And that starts at the top. But we'll talk about that another time, man. Yeah. One thing I was gonna ask you a question here. Noah Brown's been getting a lot of targets lately. Do you think that's just a product of Kellen Moore's offense? Because what it is that take what the defense gives you and they're going to take away CD and they're going to give you Noah Brown. Do you think that? Have you seen that? Like,
I think
they've been double.
So here's the weird thing about going into this game. I think Sunday was such an anomaly for what has been going on over the last month of the season from the passing game. Like, Dak and CD have been absolutely killing it.
Yeah.
They've been shredded. CD's been getting ridiculous amount of targets. That CD getting his targets. Noah, I'm sorry, getting his targets, I don't think has anything to do with CD Lamb. In a sense, like, he's not taking away from CD Lamb. CD Lamb's been getting his targets. I think the issue is, technically, prior to Hilton getting here, Noah Brown has been your wide receiver too. Like, that's the problem. Like Michael Gallup hasn't been that good. Jalen Tolbert's not a guy. James Washington is doing nothing. So by de facto, by default, the guy who's been here all year, not out because of an ACL injury, has been who? CeeDee Lamb and Noah Brown. So I think that's why he's getting targets, is because he is literally the option that's been most successful opposite of CeeDee Lamb. And that's why it's hard for me to get on Noah, right? Like, I hate the fact that he's dropping balls and things like that.
Correct.
But you're asking a career wide receiver 5 to essentially be your de facto wide receiver 2. What you think's going to happen?
And it's not his fault that they elevated him to that position. So that's just it's just what you get while you're there. Another question I would ask: what do you think the offensive line is going to look like when Biotis come back? The reason why I asked that, and I'm gonna get off after this, is because, man, our running game, we have to get something started, man. We work so well when we get our running game going, running efficiently, getting 4 yards a catch or something like that, 4 yards a run, and it opens up so much other things for us, man. And I just want to know, can we get this offensive line right? And I'm gonna get off and listen to your answer, brother. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, B-Bird. This ain't the week. I tell you that much, man. Golston, Vita Vea, Hicks. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to run on these boys in a traditional manner. I think you're gonna have to do it again. Stop me if you heard this. Go steal Kyle Shanahan's plays, man. Go steal their plays. Go watch how they ran on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you do that. And if you ain't going to literally run, then do extended handoffs. Get Tony. Like, Tony, man, listen. Maybe this conversation we'll have tomorrow, Monday. He needs to touch the ball 20 times in this game. 20 times minimum. That doesn't mean he has to get 20 carries. He just need to be a feature part, whether it be on the passing game or in the rushing department. But 20 touches. Point blank, period. So, I don't know, man. I don't have confidence in this offensive line to just automatically start run blocking really well. I'm going to need some of those penny adjustments from Dak, some of those from Kellen Moore. I'm going to need Kellen Moore to scheme it up. I don't think they'll turn it around and just all of a sudden be a 175 rushing yard team. I'm not even looking for that in this game. What I'm looking for, again, and I've been saying this for 2 years, I don't care about the number of rushing attempts. I care about the efficiency of it. Can we get back to being efficient on the ground? They love to hit a number, and that's the damn problem. They want to hit this 30 attempt number so bad, and then a lot of fans, they kind of just take that low-hanging fruit. See, we ran it 30 times. It ain't running it 30 times. It's the how. Because you can run the ball 23 times. If you're averaging 5.6 yards per carry, you're probably going to win. Doesn't matter if you didn't hit 30. It's about being efficient. And Dallas has not been efficient. And they've been kind of just banging their heads against the wall with this run game. I don't think he'll flip the switch. But I will take a 21 carry day. And the running backs, mind you, the running backs are averaging 4.4 yards per carry. I would take that. That's not a spectacular day, but it's a good enough, efficient day. And then when you throw in Dak, right? Because I would love to use Dak's leg. This is why I said, leave it all out there. Last game of the year, can't hold anything back. Leave it all out there. And if you throw Dak's legs in there and he gets you 40 rushing yards, that helps. So to answer your question, I don't see them flipping the switch, but I'm hoping for an efficient day as opposed to some spectacular day. Yes, Professor O. Efficiency over volume. Twan says facts. It's the how. and the how has been really, really bad lately. Really bad. No dog in the offense. That you know how I feel about that term, dog, but I know what you mean. You mean that spark plug, that Des Bryant we all like to bring back. I think we just take the personality of our culture, of our CEOs. I just think we do. And that's no disrespect to that man, because I think he does a great job at managing this team, because hey man, Dan Quinn, do your thing. Kellen, do your thing. I'm going to make sure we are good to go Monday through Saturday. And on Sunday, y'all got this. Because it ain't much he could do. We talked about it before. But I truly do believe that both sides of the ball take their personality from the CEOs of those sides of the ball, the Dan Quinns and the Kellen Moores, and it matriculates down. Let's get back to the horns. Good stuff today. Good conversations. I knew this one was going to be a good one because the offense is the one. The quarterback, Kellen Moore, Mike McCarthy, the offense is the one that's going to be facing the most pressure in this game. Deshaun, what's goody?
What up? So good morning, Kyle. Shout out to everybody. So I wasn't here earlier. Did y'all hear what Mike Evans said?
No, I have not listened to any of their press. What did he say?
So he was saying, like, because we're coming, so pretty much like Evan said, coming to us, it's simple. We're simple. Like, when you play against the Cowboys, we're pretty much simple. So pretty much he's testing, and I know Kellen Moore's not like this, but pretty much he's testing Kellen Moore gangster. He's pretty much saying this is a simple team, you know, we pretty much got it in the back.
Hold on. Mike Evans talked about the Cowboys offense, or are you saying Mike Evans was saying the Cowboys defense is simple?
Defense. He's pretty much saying, like, our Cowboys is simple. We're like a simple team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, you know, you got the whole Devin White and telling them we already know what they're going to do and stuff like that beforehand, like week one. So pretty much to me, we have to come out and, I guess, surprise them. You have to, like, starting out the opening drive is really going to tell me how this game is going to go flow. Because if we come out and doing the same thing we've been doing for the past month, it's going to be a long game. I remember how it was in that first playoff game when it gets the 49ers, and it was dragging on, and it seemed flat. It took so long. So really, the opening drive is telling.
You know what? I hope they defer.
Me too.
I do not subscribe to getting the ball first, especially when your offense is not clicking on all cylinders. I would much rather my defense go out there, try to get some momentum. And then and plus you get the ball back at halftime. I hope they defer. Please defer.
Yeah, I found a quote. He said that we're a good team, but we're simple. So he's pretty much saying, like, yeah, we're a good team, but they don't have no creativity. They don't have nothing to really confuse us with. We already know what they're pretty much about to do. So that lets me know that it's both offensive coordinator and defense coordinator. They have to come out and surprise them, because now that's telling me they're taking us for granted. They're saying pretty much we're going to run through them.
I mean, are they lying?
No, not lying, but like I said, you have to have some pride.
No. I'm not. I agree. I'm just saying it's hard to be like, oh, they lying there. No, I mean we've been simple. Put it that way. That's all you got for the show?
Yeah. So, but me personally, I think a big factor is you have to frustrate Tom Brady. If Tom Brady's getting mad and he's getting frustrated at his teammates and everything like that, that's when we're doing the correct thing. If he's calm and he's just chilling, we're in trouble. Also, the last point, we cannot let the refs have the final say-so. And it's like every playoff game, it's always up to the ref to have the final say-so. We have to take it out of Brady's hand in the last possession or the ref's hand. At this point, I'd rather Dak have the last possession to go win the game compared to Brady.
Yeah, I'm just not going to speak on the refs. Yeah, leave it out of their hands. You're right about that.
Yeah, all right, little guy.
Appreciate you. Let me just play this one more time. Talk about being simple. Where'd it go? Here you go.
Last year we learned that they really wasn't going to commit to the run game, and the runs that they did, they was going to try to get outside and not run into the interior. But most of the running game was quick game. A lot of curls, a lot of hitches, a lot of slants and stuff. So we kind of knew that going in, so we was able to attack it.
Talk about simple, man. Reek, what's good?
Hey, what's going on, Sky? What's going on, Cowboy Nation? Like my man said, I'm glad that
Lines closed.
That these dudes,
go ahead.
I'm glad these dudes doing all this talking over there in Tampa Bay.
I didn't know he said that.
I mean,
I look that up.
I'm glad they talking because you know what? I like it better. I love it better when we're the underdog. They can say we the top dog in this situation, but everybody know that we the underdog in this whole situation because people expect us to fall flat on our face. That's what they've been wanting us to do all year. You know what I mean? And the team has to understand, the organization has to understand, all we got is us. You know what I'm saying? The real people that's down with this situation, not the people that just gonna want to wave the pom-poms if we do good. You know what I mean? Or when we doing good. My thing is, Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn has to empty the clip on this team. Don't hold nothing back. I don't want to hear, I'm saving these plays. No, it should be, okay, we're going to run this, but if this don't work, we're gonna run something else too. You know what I'm saying? It should always be a plan to the backup plan. You know what I mean? A backup plan to the other backup plan. It should never be simple. This is the playoff. This one shot, and you're gone. If you don't do what you got to do, you're gone. And they have to understand that shit. I really hope that they sitting down and they playing that playoff loss from last year. They need to play all they did playoff losses and look at all them shits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And get that feeling again, what it feels like to get punched in your mouth and lose a game that you could have won. You was in position to win. And know that feeling and go out there and go kick these dudes in the damn teeth. Because we don't need to come out soft. On offense or defense. We need to be out here doing our damn thing. My thing is, Mike Evans and all them talking all that junk, but at the same time, too, the ball got to get to you, bruh. If your quarterback can't get the ball to you, you shut down.
Yeah.
We got to hit this dude. This is my thing. Dan Quinn, all I want from Dan Quinn, use Michael Parsons like the queen that he is. On the chessboard.
Here you got it.
Move this dude around. Quit just keeping him there for people like the running back to chip him like that. Quit doing him like that, bro. Use him. Move that dude around because that's our weapon. That's the weapon that's gonna get the other weapons on the team to going. Because once Michael starts turning up, the rest of the team starts turning up. I always notice that about this squad. So we got to turn up, man. We got to go to Tampa and don't look back. Leave it all on the field, man. And that's all I got to say about that.
Good call, Rick. So I went and looked at what Mike Evans said. I mean, you want to talk about bulletin board material. I mean, I don't know that that's going to matter. Quote, they're a team that's simple. They're a good team, but they're simple. They don't run anything really exotic defensively, Evans added. And offensively, they're just a really talented team, and they're just trying to play straight up and see if you can beat them. So we've got to come out with our best. Now, when I come on these shows, when y'all come on here with me, when we go on these social media streets, which I have to stay out of, boy, if you watching this, Tuck, damn you, Tuck, for pulling me into that conversation yesterday on Twitter. My goodness. This is why I can't do anything on Twitter, man. People push the conversation left, and now you're trying to, hey, wait, we were talking about this. Now you're talking about this. Anyway, that's why I say come to the show. We can have a conversation right here. But when we go on these platforms and we say, hey, man, this scheme ain't ish. We get met with, well, number one, blah, 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 blah. And then I come back with, yeah, because of that guy. If anything, it's more impressive what he's doing given what we're running. I'm not saying it no more. Y'all not saying it no more. Players. It's a simple ass team. They play straight up and see if you can beat them. How many times have I come on here and said, hey, dog, all we doing is running out there saying beat your man on man. But when you go watch the San Francisco 49ers, who have a really stout offensive line, they got one of the best ever to do it, they still not going out there and saying, oh, we just going to run straight up the A-gap and whatnot. They're creative. It's quite embarrassing, bro. That's quite embarrassing. Devin White came out week 1 and said what he said, and Mike Evans is here, and this is after 18 weeks of film. All these dudes is simple. They're just going to try to play straight up and see if you can beat them. I hope. I don't know how these dudes get their motivation, but I talk about the Mamba mentality and Michael Jordan all the time, finding these little things to make them play a certain way, to give them that edge. It's the playoffs. It's Brady. You don't need any more, but they just called you a simpleton. And I'm looking at Kellen too, right? Like Kellen, they said you basic as hell. You a basic bitch, as the young bucks say. But he up for head coaching. All right. I digress, man. That's embarrassing, bro. Nick, send us out, man.
Hey, what's up, Sky? Hey, I just got 2 points, bro. For one, Cowboys Nation, I'm still buying that stock that Kellen and Dan Quinn have a bag full of tricks, dude, up their sleeves. Because if they don't, and they come out sucking, and they don't adjust in halftime, and they just don't make any adjustments, then they're going to show that to all their future employers, the Broncos or whoever they're going to be interviewing with. But I'm just very, very hopeful that they have something in the bag that they haven't pulled out up to this point, because if not, then it's just going to be seriously embarrassing, man. And I don't know, I really don't want our season to end on Monday, but I really, like everybody else, I'm hopeful that they have something in the bag, because their jobs are on the line essentially, and there's no telling if, say, Mike McCarthy goes, the new head coach comes and kind of like makes room for new coordinators and such like that. So I just hope, man. But anyways, I hope to see y'all on Monday, and talk to y'all on Monday about the playoff game, bro. But I hope you have a good weekend, brother.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks, Nick. It'll be Tuesday, by the way. Tuesday morning, because Monday night's the game. I mean, we'll be live. I'll be doing a morning show live on Monday, but it'll be Tuesday. So I'll catch you then, man. Win, lose, or draw. Y'all know I'm here for it all. Here for it all. By the way, I'm not saying, I agree with y'all. He's not lying. That's my whole point. Like, if I'm just a regular schmegular fan. If I'm seeing this is a simple offense, there is no creativity in X, Y, Z. It's one thing if I'm saying it. I'm nobody. But when players are saying it, you can't dispute that. You can't dispute that. So yeah, you're right. He ain't lying, But still, he may not be lying, but I would still take offense to that, because listen, as a competitor in me, I would take that and be like, oh, I'm simple? I ain't ish, or like Tariq said, I'm soft. That's how he's taking it. Whatever way you gotta take it, use it as fuel, and come out here and leave nothing left on that field. Because I'm gonna ask y'all a question. In that 49ers game, I don't care if it's a player, coach, whatever. Did it not feel like to you that we left a lot on the field? Right? Like, we left a lot there. Like, damn, we could have did so much more. Why didn't we do so much more? I want to leave this game, win or lose, saying, man, we threw everything we had at these dudes, and we weren't the better team that day. I didn't feel like that against San Fran. I felt like, bro, what? And that don't mean double reverses. That don't mean that. I'm not talking about hook and ladders. So I'm talking about, y'all. I'm talking about. What's the name said something interesting, Professor O, and speaking of leaving everything out in the field, Bones Fossil left everything out in that field against San Fran with that trick play. And he said Bones is another guy that may have to run a fake punt or something like that, or what have you. Some type of, that may be true. The Cowboys have not ran one in a very long time. I don't remember the last time they ran one. Have they run one this year? I don't think they've run one this year. There you go. Creative, not cute, Jay's way. Let's get to these supers and get up out of here. Creative, not cute. Facts. Mel, what do we have to do to get guys wide open, wide ass open? It's so weird because you see so many games. You be like, how he get wide open? I haven't seen wide open in a long time. But I just think it's about scheme, more overs, more creative concepts. Go pop on San Fran. Go pop on McDaniels. Go pop on those guys. They run different concepts that get guys wide the hell open. Oh, not Shanahan, but Andy as well. Am I tripping? Trying to find the supers for y'all, man, but oh, there they changed the name. YouTube always, whatever, man. YouTube is YouTube. Here we go.
Super chat.
Oh, all right. I'm not going. Yeah, here we go. YouTube tripping right now, but I got y'all. We don't wipe them 304. Shout out to you for the $5 donation. He says, "What's happening, Sky?" Landlord voice. I pray we adjust from the first game, but that's all I can do. Like Jerry, I'm gonna pray on it, sweetheart. Salute, bro. I'm with you. I pray we adjust as well, man. Artist formerly known as Toxic Tom Downer Bernie account.
Super chat.
Says Sky, Dak is in a lose-lose situation. I think I know what you mean, but elaborate for me. I think I know what you mean. I think you mean like if the Cowboys lose, well, obviously that's a lose situation. But if they win, it's going to be that conversation we had at the top of the show. People are going to be talking about how they won and probably leaning towards everything but him. I say I walk him the second one, obviously. I can care less, right? Like, I'd rather them complain about why they won and he wasn't a part of it than the opposite. But I think that, yep, you said correct. Yep, that's probably what's going to happen. Cowboys defense gets 2 turnovers, holds Tom Brady to 17 points. Dallas scores 20. Dak has a touchdown and a pick. It's going to be Dak played poorly. The defense held him up. He's still a liability. He's the weak link, yada, yada, yada. Can't do this, can't do that. And I'm going to just be back here like, you won. Now go do it again. I don't care. But yeah, you're right. Brandon C., he dropped one and said,
Super chat.
Remember when they rested TP last season finale and didn't give him the ball? Yes, I remember. Time to make it right, Kellen. Facts. 20 touches. Period. 20 touches for Tony Pollard in this game. Stop playing with me. We don't wipe them 304 said, another super chat. Appreciate you.
Super chat.
What aggravates me is that they're the 8-win team disrespecting us and we gave them a reason. Let me ask y'all, do y'all take that as disrespect? I kind of do. I mean, at least that's a competitor to me trying to turn into something. He's not lying. But, bro, he went publicly, nationally, and said, man, they a simple-ass team. I don't know. I take offense to it if I'm the player. I don't care if it's true. Don't be telling people, well, we simple out here. As a competitor, would you take, and not as you, as a fan, as a competitor, would you take that as bulletin board material? Whether you're the coach or the player, I would. Let me see here. Dane said facts. Swain said yes. So I'm not going to talk about third and longs. Dak, who are you talking about? Are you talking about somebody in the chat, T-Dub? What are you talking about, man? Simple team who haven't had a good game against. Simple team who you haven't had a good game against. Are you talking about listen, bro, once again, if they win, Mike Evans got all the. You lost to him twice. If I'm Mike Evans, yeah, I can say what I want to say. I don't care if I didn't have a 100-yard game, although he had a touchdown, one-handed catch, grab on him last game. But we beat you. Show tomorrow, yeah, Friday. I mean, oh yeah, holiday. It's holiday, yeah. Let me talk to my peoples about that. I'll be here Monday, that's for sure. I know that. Zeke signed football. That is a you gotta head on over to the A to Z Sports Instagram. They running that whole thing. I was just at Supreme Lending with the signed football thing. That's not really something. But yes, there is a Zeke signed football giveaway that they're going to be announcing, I think, on Monday via social media, not necessarily on the show. But I gotta talk to my guys. Quiddy said, I'm using anything as fuel. Facts. I would be traveling with Mike Evans, Greg. That's what I would be doing. So T-Dub, what are you talking to? Are you talking to Hot Spot Casino? Is that what you're talking about? Basic. That mother ain't copper. Hey. I like that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that means you got to watch the Volume Show where I produce / co-host with my guy Vash Lombardi Live. Final show of the week, man. Final show prior to Monday's playoff game over on the Volume. If I'm not mistaken, and I'll let Vash confirm this, I think he'll be here Monday at Texas Live with me, so that'll be fun watching the game together. And boy, if we get a dub, we gonna act a whole damn fool. Because there's not too many people that are at the game with me that I know that are like me during the game. But y'all know how it is. Let me talk to y'all for a second. Y'all know how it is. When you with your boys, right? Or ladies who are as diehard fans as you are, man, when a good play happens, a touchdown, a victory, it's just something different. It's just something different. And don't get me wrong, a lot of Cowboy fans, awesome. I run around with them, slap hands, all that good stuff. But man, it'd be so dope if Vosh is coming down here and the Cowboys get this dub. I'm gonna act a whole damn fool in that post game show. Pretty much, Quiddy. Do you participate in award for sports shows? If so, how do we vote for y'all? No, I don't believe we do. we ain't that respected just yet, Nick. But that'd be pretty cool. Prime example. My brother Jeff in the building right here. He said, miss watching with you, bro. Prime example, man. Watching a game with him is a different energy experience than watching it with anybody else because he matches my energy. Y'all feel me? Watching it with those type of people that match that energy with you is something different. And that's with a lot of things too. I don't like going to certain events and it's like, why are you here? Why are you here if you're not going to be excited about being here? What are you doing, man? Good stuff today. KHY, I feel bad for you, brother. See, mine's adopted fandom. And she know not to say too much, though, if we lose. But, boy, yours is a hater, so you know she going to be talking trash if the Cowboys get this loss, man. I feel bad for you. I get hyped when I'm extra loud. Man, listen. I told the group, I think I said this on the postgame show. I told the group of the family that was there at Texas Live, they've been there the last 3 times. Awesome family, huge family. I said, listen, if you bring these kids here next week, I am not liable for what they may repeat after me. I'm not. Because on Sunday, after the first quarter, I'm like, man, whatever. I'm not about to sit here and get all up in arms and start acting crazy. I was annoyed, but I wasn't what I usually do. I'm like, end this game. Let's get up out of here. Monday, different story. Put the kids to bed. Heads in bed. That's all I'm saying. I'm not responsible for what they repeat. I'm not responsible. All right, man. Good stuff today. Tomorrow, final show of the week, maybe. Let me look into that, Mel. I'm glad you brought that up because I don't want y'all to be expecting it and I'm not showing up and yeah. So maybe holiday situation, but Monday for sure. Will 100% be here and getting you prepped for this game. Later, we'll be recording the final episode, unless the Cowboys win, of Cowboys 4th and Long with Jesse. We'll have that out later tonight or tomorrow morning for your weekend pleasure. And then Monday it's on. Monday it's on. Tom, Mom, what's up, kid? Bro, I don't cuss like that. It's more like this.
What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you.
If you've been around this show long enough, I've slipped up every once in a while. You get a little glimpse, just a little glimpse. Hey, I ain't gonna do that. See, this is off air stuff, but Lil Man gonna be coming back and he gonna be a little different. The way it sounds gonna be a little different. It ain't gonna be that time. But let me get out of here. Did I ever ask Jesse? Oh, what was the question, Sully? Tell me, what was the question you wanted me to ask him before I go? See, this is the benefit of having a guy like Jesse, you know, as an old head, OG, big bro, and then also a co-host. I got some insight, man, about these coaches and these players from former coaches and stuff that was pretty cool that I share with y'all a little bit. But I would love, what's the question? I'll definitely get it to him, Sully. Yeah, they crazy. Heads in bed, Lemitra. That's a Kevin Hart reference. Dak must win, says Steven. Absolutely. Without a doubt. About Jerry selling his soul for the third. Oh. I'll ask him, but because they said something on the show you said about that. All right, yeah. I'll bring that up today. I got you. All right, with that said, let's get up out of here. Press this button. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. I will keep you updated on social media. You can find me on Ask Skywalker still on the DFW Turf Ticker. I will let you guys know if I'm gonna be here. I gotta look at the holiday situation. I got you, Sully. I got you, man. Jay Walker Vaughn. If you missed the show, y'all know what to do. Hashtag run it back. I got you, bro. Appreciate y'all. Be out of here. Love you. Peace. The muffin cap back blue was crazy.
Squad!